Opening statement just about the game Saturday. Again, it's kind of a broken record. Come out early, play well early, struggle in the second quarter, get behind, and can't recover. We set the staff meeting this morning trying to figure out, we tried to change practice and try to do some things in practice, see if that would help us. To be honest with you, I think it's one of those things we're just going to have to grow up and fight through as a football team and as a program. And the kids are giving great effort. We've got a number of guys that are, playing at fairly high levels. Stedman Mayberry played really, really hard, really well in the game Saturday. Obviously, Bryan London, with 20-plus tackles, played well. I wish he doesn't have to make all those tackles. I wish he didn't have to play that many steps and have to make 20 tackles. Anthony Taylor blocking his third kick of the year and, just doing a heck of a job there. Our quarterback, Tyler Jones, is, running for his life, but playing really, really hard and, giving us great effort. Gabe Lloyd, same way, Jordan Mitty. We've got a number of guys, JT Taylor, true freshman, playing hard. So you can't go 0 for 8 on third down, okay? You can't, give up 46% on third down to the other team. You can't turn the ball over and snap it over the head and give a safety up. You can't drop a kickoff and give people the ball in plus territory. And you can't have the two loss, obviously the turnovers and not get any. And that's the game. That's the game. Third downs, turnovers, those are big plays in the game. And when you have a positive play like we had on the block punt, you can't block below the waist and have points taken off the board. So when you do those things, you're not going to win. But all that stuff we were able to go back and really coach on Sunday, and that's what we're doing. I think our coaches are doing a really good job of taking those instances in the game when the game changes against us, or when we make plays and the energy levels there, to try to teach our team about how you have to overcome bad plays in games. And we're just not at that point yet in our program where we can do that. But I really truly believe we'll get there with obviously a young team, but a team that's going to push forward and keep working hard.
You mentioned some of the things in practice.
Yep. Well, we start practice with a different kind of I call it a mystery period. Where it's kind of a period, you ever heard of mystery meat? You don't know what's in the meat at the mystery period. So they don't know exactly and it's a competitive period, and it's offense against defense. And whoever loses has to do a 100-yard bear crawls, and that's coaches included. Okay, so that would get you motivated. The last few weeks we've done it. Those periods have been our best periods in practice. They really have. They've been our best periods in practice, and I'm thinking about doing the whole practice that way. See if it'll work. But no, we've done that. We've moved some things around. We do a lot more against each other, offense versus defense, whether it's first offense against second defense, first defense against second offense. We do a lot more of that, more like the NFL does it, just so we can get more energy in practice. And what it's done is our numbers aren't what we want to be. It helps us with scout team guys. Also, we don't have as many scout team guys. So we've just tried to, and our practices have been fine. Our kids have practiced hard. You guys are out there. Our kids are practicing hard and working hard. We just, we're going to keep investigating and keep experimenting with ways to try to get us to play good in the second quarter. Yep. I'd give them an A. I really would. Just, I sit in a lot of meetings. As a head coach, you don't have a position meeting, so I sit in the special teams meetings. I go in the offensive line meeting. I go in the running back meetings, running back tight end meetings, and I really, what's being taught is the way it ought to be taught. We talk about direct teaching. And our coaches do a really good job. Coach Santucci with the outside linebackers does an unbelievable job. I think about what his room was when we got here and what it is now. It's one of our better rooms as far as talent. It's really young, okay? I'm gonna use that word, it's really young, but in the future, that room's going to be one of our better rooms in this building as far as players. And he's done an unbelievable job. And, direct teaching, man, those guys have to come in there ready to know, their stuff, because he's going to ask them a bunch of questions. And it's not just sitting, you go to college where you sit in the back of the deal with your hood and, your earbuds in, and then you hope you do well on the exam. That's not these meetings in this building. It's a lot of direct teaching and a lot of intense teaching in this building. So, yeah, we just got to keep going. We just got to keep rolling in that aspect.
So, the team have a lot of culture.
Yeah. I think we're not there yet. Obviously, we're not there yet. But I think when you start looking at, I noticed some things that our players say and do that back 2 months ago we were having issues with, and now they're policing themselves on some things, which is what you want. So I think the groundwork is there. We got to obviously keep it going and keep finishing it off. But we're not a finished product, obviously, in the culture area either yet. But we're headed in the right direction, I believe.
You mentioned after the game Saturday that for whatever parts where you may have played well, that you didn't play well enough to beat anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Do you look at this game against New Mexico State as a situation where you can play well enough to beat somebody?
Well, if we do those things that we didn't do last week, we'll have a chance to win. And to me, that's any game we play, to be honest with you. If you don't turn it over, if you convert on third downs, if and you block a punt for a touchdown, there's no penalties that take points off the board. If you do all those things, you give yourself a chance to win, against anybody. And, I've been in those games, where those things happen and you win them, and you may not be the most talented team. And you win them because you do all the right things. So that's where we are. We've got to do, nearly all the right things to give ourselves a chance to win right now. So that's where we are.
You've been successful just about every stop on that.
Mm-hmm.
How tough has this year been for you personally, looking at a record that Michael losing record? I'm not sure it's Michael's first losing record you've had as a coach.
We were talking about this the other day. 2007, I was at the University of Minnesota. I came in with Tim Brewster. I left the Tennessee Titans to be the assistant head coach at the University of Minnesota. Exact same situation. Exact same. Bad culture, not a lot of talent, very little. Our starting Mike linebacker was a walk-on fullback from the year before in the Big Ten. So you can imagine how that went. But what had happened is I saw, one, we hammered recruiting. We hammered trying to build a culture. Now, I left after a year and went to the University of North Carolina, but that program started exactly like this one. With not a lot of structure, not a lot of culture, not a lot of fan enthusiasm, a lot of apathy, a lot of things like that. But it grew because of recruiting and staying the course. Coach Brewster ended up, I think, going to a bowl game and then getting fired. But then the groundwork had already been laid for the next guy. And then boom, all of a sudden, they take off and they're competing and they're in bowl games nearly every year. But I look at that and I look at, where we are right now, very, very similar. I'm one of those guys, I love building. I mean, I just, my time at Ohio State, Ohio State's a little bit different animal, obviously. It's got tradition and history and all that stuff. But that team we took over, I think, was 5-7 or something like that at Ohio State. And to go 24-0 in 2 regular seasons, we had to change some culture. And I saw how the culture was changed. We took the same model to James Madison. A lot of apathy, a lot of complacency, and a fan base that it kind of dwindled. With a great university, a lot like this one, with great facilities and the whole deal. And I'm going, how do you not win here? It was culture, and we changed the culture. And I think somebody said they're number 4 or 5 in the country right now because of a culture. And this was going to be the year, because the first 2 years, really young football team. It's still pretty young. So you go recruit, You go recruit to a culture, and you don't let people change your plan. Like I say all the time, it ain't the plan, it's the people.
You talked about the block points taken away. Is it good for a team so young to have those experiences to realize that they can't do these things going forward the rest of the season, the next season?
If you don't use them as teaching moments, then it's not worth it. But if you use them as teaching moments, it'll help your team. For that to happen, here's what's so amazing about that. We block the kick. Anthony Taylor does it exactly like we coach it. And it's not schemed for him. Just so you guys know, nobody did exactly what they were supposed to do on that punt block. Nobody. You got minuses across the board. Only one guy did his job, Anthony Taylor. One guy did his job, and he blocked it on a big, the Shields got 3 big offensive linemen back there. And he does what he's supposed to do. He goes in skinny, come out big, and puts his hand on the block spot and blocks. I think that punter was like Sun Belt Player of the Week or something. I'm going, how you get Sun Belt when you get a punt blocked? So I guess that's not me to pick. So, but he did it exactly like we teach it. Now, A.J. Krozik blocked a guy and went to go block a second guy and blocked him below the waist. Blocked one guy and then went and blocked another guy and blocked him below the waist. So he was blocking 2 guys on the play. So again, effort, thumbs up. Block high on kicking game. Hopefully it's a learning lesson that you teach.
Coach, you mentioned Tyler Jones earlier. Certainly the season I know when he would have liked. He did a lot.
Yep.
Keeps getting bounced back up. What would you say about the effort he's getting in the season? And what kind of example has he provided for some of the other younger players?
You know what Tyler is, and he's one of those guys that's steady and constant. He's not played well all the time this year, but the last 3 or 4 weeks he's really been good. And I think what you see from him is a guy that's trying to do the things that we ask him to do. He's under a lot of pressure because we're not protecting him very well, but he's staying the course, man. And we talk a lot on the headphones when he's off on the sideline. And he's one of those guys. He's a tough kid, man. I really respect him and admire him.
Coach, a little bit off the Texas State subject. Your son playing football at Bowie High School, correct? Does he accept coaching from you? How does that kind of work?
From what I hear from Coach Abels, he does. I try to stay out of the way. So he's, I think he understands, what coaches do. I think he's doing a good job for him. I like I said, I try to stay out of the way at all. I don't meddle at all in other coaches' business.
How different is that when you're sitting in the stands watching a game and watching your son? Hard. He don't like me coming to his games because he thinks I'm wanting to run out on the field and start coaching him. So I don't. I do coach while I'm sitting in the stands. My wife doesn't like me at the games either because I see stuff. If he could have done this, it would have been a better play and all this stuff. So but I do enjoy watching them. I've been able to see maybe 3 games this year. And before when we were at James Madison, I used to sneak off on Friday nights and watch him play. So, you don't get to do that very much. He's the only son I got, so I'm gonna try to see him and watch him as much as I can. Well, I mean, you've got a wealth of knowledge there. Does he come to you ever for recruiting advice, football advice?
I stay out of the recruiting advice with him right now. Football advice, we talk technique a lot, and that's the part that I like is that. He will come to me with technique questions and that type stuff. Sometimes he won't use them, but and I always tell him, do what your coaches tell you to do. And he says, yeah, they tell me to do this. What about this? And so I'll give him examples, and I always end up do what your coaches tell you to do.
Has the transition for him been fairly easy?
Yeah, it's been awesome. It's been awesome. He's got a number of friends on the team and in the community and at the school. He absolutely loves it. We initially thought it was going to be school was going to be too big, but he's adjusted well to it and really likes it.
Coach, you said before that road games is a chance to build some character for football. Maybe defining your culture and winning on the road. This is your last opportunity to play a road game this season. How big of an opportunity
Well, I think it's big. I think anytime you get a chance to go on the road and take a team and take, however many guys we take, we've been taking in the, 65, 64 range of players on the team. It's good to be able to go do that and go on the road, and it's kind of every man against, us against the world kind of mentality on the road. And I think that's always good. And again, I think you grow as a football team. There's no ticket issues when you go on the road. It's all about the game. And to me, that's what I like. It's all about the brotherhood and the fellowship of your teammates and going to fight for each other.
What about the challenge of playing against a running back like Larry?
Really talented guy, and I would say, the best back in our league. And he's, very good runner, very good vision. It's going to be a big challenge. They want to spread you out and give him creases to run the ball, and we've got to do a good job of taking away some of his run lanes. And off of that, they do a good job with all their RPO pass game also. So we've got a tremendous challenge in that aspect, trying to stop him. Really good player. Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, they will be big. They will be big this week. That and what's going to be big is our front guys and our outside linebackers being able to handle some of the cutback run lanes for us this week. So we're going to have to do a really good job. But all four of our linebackers are going to be critical this week in what we do.
What do you see out of that from the defense? What do you do offensively and kind of defense?
Well, up front, I think they play aggressive. They're not as big as some of the teams that we played the last few weeks in the front seven, but they play well. They obviously have, I think, I argue we got one of the best linebackers in the league. They've got one also that's a really, really good player. So he makes a lot of things happen for their defense. They're going to be down, a 4-down team. They're going to get an extra safety down and try to help them in the run game. We're going to have to find ways to execute in the pass game some. To open up some of the run game.
Injury news or anybody coming back from injury this week?
Nothing new. Pretty healthy, for where we were the last couple of weeks.
He's definitely explosive. He's fast. He was actually kind of hurt, slowed down this year, so we're kind of just not seeing him get back to full speed. But he's definitely dynamic, and we got to do something to stop him this week.
Coach was just saying his linebackers, even Gabe Lloyd, are arguably the best in the league. What does that mean when you hear something like that?
It's big coming from Coach. It gives you more confidence to go out there and play loose. But we're just playing in the scheme, doing what they ask us. So.
Road game coming up this week in New Mexico. Coach says it builds character, getting some wins on the road. That's what he kind of wants from y'all. Is that something you agree on? I know you guys only have one road win this year back in Ohio.
Yeah. Going on the road, it takes a different kind of focus, a different mentality, because you don't have fans cheering for you per se. So it shows who's serious about it, I guess.
Coach said that to me, you were a lot more talking now than what you were in the past. Do you agree with that? Have you seen a change in preparation, practice, and meetings and that?
Definitely. Guys are focusing more in the meetings room. We're talking more, make sure everyone's on the same page, all three levels of the defense.
You were a redshirt last year, and now you're more involved this year. But in your comparison, what's the difference between the culture of last year compared to this year? I mean, similar records, but different coaching staff.
This year, guys are just a lot more positive, I guess. It's there's no quit. Things definitely aren't going our way right now, but guys, we come in, we're just trying to get better. Last year, we didn't have it as much as we do this year, but this year we're definitely going to see this thing through to the end.
Do you feel like the foundation is kind of laid this year now, next year and on, is on to build the house, if you will?
It's definitely more laid. This year, we know what's the basics, what's our foundations, just hard work and playing hard. So if all else fails, we know we can lay our hat on that to grow.
Sure. You brought up your tackle numbers. You had 19 Saturday was Mexico State. You're second in the conference in tackling, and you're one of the top leaders in the nation as well. Did you
I mean, I always want to say I envision myself doing good, but I just envision myself buying into what Coach said, and Coach McCray, he told us that if we all do our jobs, we're going to see unblocked people at the ball and just make a play when the time comes. So that's all I'm doing.
Have you seen steady improvement from the defense as a whole as the season's moved along?
I've definitely seen improvement. I mean, it's not where you would want it to be. I mean, giving up 47 points, but it's improvement.
Sure, no one feels good about seeing a 5-game losing streak and no wins in conference play yet. How hungry are you guys for a win, and what are you saying about this chance coming up against New Mexico State?
We're very hungry. I mean, every week is a must-win for us. So we're gonna go today and start preparation to be the most prepared team and win on Saturday.
What if you think about the coaching staff this year? They're all new, they're all young. You guys are mostly new and young. How have they challenged you as an athlete?
Just every day they just want us to get better, just improve. They're just always positive and just there's so much energy flowing through the building at all times. It's hard to you have to love what you do, and the coaches clearly love what they do, and it kind of rubs off on those players, I guess.
Coach Withers mentioned earlier about these mystery sessions during practice. What have those been like?
I mean, they're definitely rough. You just thrown in the heat of battle, and it just shows who wants it, who loves the game. Sometimes you're just unprepared. It'd be Tuesday. Today it's kind of hot. We're probably gonna have one today. You just gotta come out and just play. I mean, it brings out the inner competitor in you, I guess. Oh, the defense. The defense for sure.
Does it kind of remind you of the Cleanse?
I mean, nothing reminds me of the Cleanse. That's a one of one. But it reminds me of what Coach Withers has been reinforcing. Just he wants competitors and guys who want to win.
Fellow linebacker Lewis Rubin is captain. I meant to ask you this after the game. What can you tell us about him? How well do you know him? What did you think of him being put out there as the captain, honoring him for his service?
Rue's one of my best friends on the team. I was happy for him. He even took the first rep of defense. I was and for me, I was happy. I mean, I was cheering for him. I wanted him to go make a play, sack, you name it. But Rube's very big. I love the dude. He's like a brother to me. He's probably the funniest dude on the team. Lewis Rubin, funniest dude on the team. He's lighthearted, and he just makes everyone laugh in the linebacker room.
Coming from the military family, was Saturday special to you as well?
Oh, it was very special to me. My dad's one of the biggest influences in my life. So for him to come to the game and just see me, it was a big moment.